Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about anxiety and running a business. This is a big theme right now, so I wanted to address it as an anxiety person myself. If you guys don't know me, I'm Lauren Kidd. I am a business strategist for the busy mompreneur. I teach moms how to start, run, and scale their online businesses while being present in their kids' lives. What is more anxiety-ridden than raising children and running a business, right? I mean, stress levels, crazy. If you can't hear it, my doggo is chewing on a bone and it's super loud, and I gave her a bone because she was all up in my business. So I apologize if you can hear it. If you can't, good. All right, so I have gotten a lot, like an oddly high number of messages about being so anxious and having mass amounts of stress around either running the business or trying to balance mom life and business life, and it's just causing major breakdowns. So I'm not going to talk to you about medications or products to take. I'm not going to dive into any of that. I'm just strictly going to talk about business-related things, okay? So I do have some really amazing mamas. I've worked with them. They've both been my clients, and I want to highlight them. Brittany is an RTT rapid transformational therapist. Oh, I said that wrong. She's an RTT specialist. I'm not sure what it stands for, and I should. So I apologize, and Brittany's going to be like, oh my god, you really don't know what I do? No, I know what you do. And she is amazing. She truly is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to leave her contact information below. I'm going to link her page and her website. And if you are feeling massive, like just heavyweight, and you just can't seem to figure out what's wrong, or you can't seem to figure out how to move to that next level in your life, or just emotionally, and you're just feeling the weight of everything, I really encourage you to reach out. She does a lot of inner child work. She does a lot of sessions where she dives deep into what's actually happening and why it's happening and the triggers and all this jazz, and it's amazing. And she has one of the most therapeutic voices I've ever heard. Like, I could listen. I love editing her content when we're working together because I just love her videos. Her videos are so calming. I find myself breathing as she's doing her videos, and she's sharing. She's like, is this video okay? And I'm like, oh my god, this is like the most amazing video ever. Love her to pieces. So her contact information is below. Alex is another therapist, or previous brick and mortar therapist, transformed into stay-at-home mom, decided that she wanted to run her business from home, and she is amazing as well. She specializes in taking mom stress and taking you from the overwhelm to the overconfident. It's pretty epic. It's amazing. Now, she doesn't do a lot of breathing and techniques. She's more journaling and talking and sharing and getting things out of you. Much more traditional in the therapy world. And I'm not saying that you need therapy. I'm just not. Everybody needs therapy, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I know that it's a big stigma, and I'm not sitting here preaching that you gotta go to therapy, but, you know, even if therapy is like oh, absolutely not, like, no way I would ever go to therapy, I still recommend that you follow these two ladies. I'm gonna drop Alex's business page and group and website below. Her group is amazing. Brittany has a group coming soon. I will probably edit this to add her group down the road, but for now, their contact information is below. Follow them. You're going to get such amazing information. Brittany will make you feel like you're growing into a tree, a strong, rooted tree. And Alex is going to be like, let's journal out everything. And it's both of these women will make you just see so much clearer about what's happening, what's going on, and how to solve this solution. So those are two really good resources. If you are just feeling overwhelmed or stressed out or overly anxious, and maybe you're just not into meds, that's okay. There's no judgment. I highly recommend that you reach out to them, or at least stalk them. Silent stalking is totally fine. I know a lot of you silent stalk me. It's fine. I love it. I love it. Some of my favorite clients have been silent stalkers. I won't lie. So, but let's talk about anxiety and your business while my dog is doing a tap dance in my living room. If that doesn't give you anxiety, I don't know what will. But she doesn't need anything, I promise. She's just trying to figure out where her tiny human is, and he is not here. He is at the chiropractor. Number one, I want you to know your limits. Now, this is coming from a business perspective. I have anxiety. I know what sets me off. I know what triggers it. Still, sometimes it happens. I do take CBD for it. When I know that there's an issue, I try to limit things that could cause it. Still, it happens. But I want you to focus on 3 things. Business specific, okay? I'm not a therapist. I've been to therapy many, many years. I love therapy. I think it's a great way to talk it out. But again, not pushing you to therapy. We're going to talk business. 1, know your limits. Know what you can and can't do. I personally cannot work for like 6 or 7 hours straight. It drives me crazy. 4 hours is pretty much my limit of concentration. It's my limit of frustration, especially if I'm working on a big project. If I'm in it and if it's technical, I'm not a tech person, I have to give myself breaks because it will drive me insane. And then I will be set off with every little thing my kid says. He looks at me wrong and I'm going to freak out, and he sneezes, I'm going to freak out. And it's not his fault, and it's not something that I intend to do, but it's something that I might have caused by overworking my limits, right? There are things I cannot write. I cannot write an email or a blog while there's a lot of chaos going on around me. I just can't do it. I can't focus. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to be all serious, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do. And then somebody's going to try to talk to me, or somebody's going to try to show me something, or somebody's going to ask me a question. My husband is notorious for this. I'm like, okay, I just need 10 minutes. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, great. I've got 10 minutes. I know I shouldn't usually take those 10 minutes, but I sit down and I try to take those 10 minutes and I try to write something. He's like, hey, did you see this boat? Hey, did you see this RV? Hey, did you see this truck? Hey, I'm like, oh my God, go away, right? Just sets me off. And then the rest of the afternoon, if I'm not careful, I can just be like, know your limits. I try really hard not to write when my husband is home because it doesn't end well. Just knowing my own patterns. It doesn't end well. He has to physically leave the house for me to be able to write. Just has to have it. He cannot be here. Lord love him. He is all well-meaning, but I cannot write anything. Emails, blog posts, regular posts. I cannot respond to people if he's home. It's not that I don't love him dearly. It's that he's got this natural instinct to interrupt. He doesn't know it. He doesn't mean to, but he does. He'll come and he'll ask me a question. My kid can ask me a question and I can just respond and go on, but my husband wants my full attention. My limit is I cannot write anything when my husband is home because I cannot fully focus. That's my limit. If I try to, I will get irritated. I'll have to continually stop. It's going to take me 10 times longer, and then I'm going to get even more mad. And it's not really his fault. It's mine. I know that I can't write when he's home. So I know my limits, and I try not to schedule any kind of writing time when he is here. Number 2, to help anxiety while running your business, move your body. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a diet program or an exercise program or sign up for something, but you got to be able to move. So we sit here at our desks, or we're on the floor with our kids, or we're doing the mom life things, and we're just so busy all the time, right? You are moving your body, but it's not necessarily an intentional moving. You're not getting up and going for a walk, a leisurely walk, or even a jog or a run. You're not intentionally picking up and putting down the weights, right? You're picking up and putting down the toddlers, which is a form of exercise. But it's not intentionally moving your body. When you do something as little as 20 minutes, it's going to help. 20 minutes of purposeful moving. So yoga or workouts or runnings or walkings or whatever. You're intentionally moving your body, and it's going to help increase those endorphins. And those endorphins are going to make you feel better. You're also going to look better. I should take my own advice some days. But I'm just saying, when you move your body, it's just really good overall for your health and your wellness and your mental well-being. And it's going to allow you, because you're in a happier state, to be able to focus more easily on the task at hand. So move your body. Even if you're just jumping up and down, go get one of those trampolines from Walmart. They're like $17. They're in the kids section, but they'll hold you. I promise. If they hold me and they hold my husband, they will hold you. And just set a timer for like 10, 15 minutes and go jump up and down on it. It's actually a lot more work than you think. But it's fun, and it gets the lymphatic system moving, and it gets you moving, and it gets you loosened up. And if you put on some really fun music and have like a Grey's Anatomy party, just jump around. It loosens you up and you have a little bit more fun. And you get the endorphins going, and you're going to feel better all around. And it's going to be able to allow you to focus on the tasks that you need to accomplish. This also works for personal life and kid life too. So tip number 3, set social media boundaries. This is very, very, very important. And this is something that's very hard when you're first starting your business, because you think you have to be on social media all the time. You don't ever want to miss a client. You don't ever want to miss an opportunity for a sale. And you're told that you have to be online all the time. It's not true. You don't have to be online all the time. It's exhausting and it's mentally draining, and you're going to spend time going down this group and that group and scrolling through the news feed, and before you know it, you've wasted 2 hours. Then you're mad and you're anxious because you didn't actually get anything done, and you probably didn't make a sale in that 2 hours of time that you were unnecessarily scrolling. Set social media boundaries. If you're getting on for work, set a timer, say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you say, okay, I'm going to go in this group and this group. I'm going to look for people, I'm going to talk to people, or I'm going to share my stuff, and then when the timer goes off, I'm done, okay? I am not a social media fan. I'm not. My business is on social media. I love the connections that I make on social media, but if I scroll the newsfeed, my newsfeed now, thankfully, is mostly business, and that's intentional. That's what I respond to, that's what I like, that's what I share, that's what I engage in, so that's typically what my newsfeed is now. But if I start scrolling through friends' Facebook pages, I'll see something and maybe it sparks a memory and I'm like, oh, I want to go check out their page. And then their page sparks a memory and I'm like, oh, what about that person? And then that person has kids. And then I get sucked down this rabbit hole. And before I know it, I'm in some kind of drama. And I'm like, ooh, she said what? He said what? And I don't actually engage, but it can be very draining. Emotionally, mentally, it's taxing and it's not really productive. And when it's not productive, you're going to start questioning whether or not you're good at your business. It's not that you're not good at your business. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing at your business. It's just maybe that you're not being as productive on social media as possible. So set social media boundaries. Tell yourself you're not going to get on it for a full day. Just unplug. I don't get on social medias, on social media platforms on Saturdays and Sundays unless I set a timer and I'm like, okay, on and off. I'm done. I cannot do it. Sometimes I'll even just delete them from my phone to remove all temptation, because that is the easiest thing for me to do. Otherwise, I could sit easily and just scroll. Come on, it's addicting. You know it. Don't lie. You know you do it. And if you sit here and tell me you don't, go on. Go on with your lying self. You're truly. We all have done it at one point in time or another. So be sure to set boundaries so that you are not spending an immense amount of time on social media, especially when you're starting to build and scale your business, because you're going to get into that mentality that oh my gosh, if I miss this person, I'm just not good. And that's not the case. If you have somebody who's messaging you every night at midnight and you're not awake at midnight, and maybe one or two times you're like, yeah, okay, I'm up, or I make it a point to be up, or I heard my phone, they're going to expect that. Okay, if you're replying to people after a certain time and you're typically asleep, they're going to expect that. Okay, and that's not a healthy boundary to set, because you should be asleep. I work with people in all different time zones. I actually have a client right now. She lives in Paris. Rarely are we ever awake at the same time, because she works in the evening-ish time. And so she's asleep when I'm awake, and I'm awake when she's asleep, and vice versa. So we actually rarely connect, and it's pretty amazing that she runs this amazing business and I run this amazing business, and I'm able to help her continue to scale her business, and we don't actually have to talk on the same time. Because that's what social media is all about. It is about setting boundaries, being able to still make those connections, and she is an amazing person. So I want you to do a couple of things. 1, go check out those 2 ladies that I mentioned. I have listed them below. That's not 2. 2, I homeschool. Isn't that sad? Number 2, I want you to know your limits, move your body, and set social media boundaries. And 3, 3 of the list of things. I want you to know that you are absolutely amazing, and anxiety does not have to control your life. There are options for you out there. Again, I'm not advocating anything specific, but there are things that you can do to manage the anxiety and still run a very successful business. I live with it every day. I can be a very anxious person if I allow certain things to trigger me and then to perpetuate that triggering. Okay, so 3 things to do to help manage that anxiety and that stress in your business. And I've also given you some amazing resources to check out or silently stalk. They love silent stalkers just as much as I do. All right. I will see you, lovely mamas, next Monday, 9 o'clock. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you get notified when new content is released. I will see you next Monday.